Welcome back to the channel, guys. In this video I want to talk about what a Roth IRA is, why I think it's important, and maybe why you should consider opening one. This is probably the most important video I've made so far in my opinion, so I'd really appreciate it if you like the video and subscribe if you haven't already. This could be the difference between retiring early or retiring when you want to retire and not retiring until you really can't walk. This is the type of stuff I personally believe should really be taught in schools, and the sooner you do this, the more you can take advantage of compound interest. It is possible that just by waiting a single year to do this, you're going to lose out on tens of thousands of dollars. Anyway, what is a Roth IRA? A Roth IRA is a tax-advantaged retirement account with money you've already paid taxes on, as opposed to maybe a 401k or a traditional IRA, which is money you pay taxes on later when you pull it out of that account. Hence the Roth in front of IRA. So let's say you have a bi-weekly paycheck of $1,500. Of that $1,500, of that money you take home, you contribute a little bit each pay period, or as much as you want throughout the course of the year, to your Roth IRA. You can contribute up to $6,000 before the age of 50, and you can contribute $7,000 once you're over the age of 50. However, there is a limit on this. Not everyone can contribute to a Roth IRA. If you're making over, I believe it's $137,000, then you can't contribute to a Roth IRA because you make too much money. But there is something called a backdoor Roth IRA. That's a video for a different time. You can just Google it. It's very easy to do. I've never done it personally, but I've heard it's very simple and it can be done very quickly. Moving on, this is probably the most important part of the video right here. When you put money into a Roth IRA, obviously it's a retirement account, so one day you plan on taking that money out for retirement. As long as you don't take that money out before the age of 59 and a half, all of your earnings are completely tax-free. For example, if you start at the age of 20 and you contribute $6,000 for 45 years until the age of 65, and you average an 8% return throughout that 45 years, which the S&P 500 has done over the last 100 years, then by the time you turn 65, you will have $2.5 million approximately in your Roth IRA. And all of that $2.5 million is completely tax-free. But it does get a little bit better. As I just said, you can't pull your profits out of your Roth IRA until you're 59 and a half. If you do this, then you're going to be hit with a 10% penalty as well as those profits being taxed as income. But let's say some emergency happens. Your car breaks down, you have medical bills, there's some emergency that happens and you need the money. And you have $12,000 in there. So you've been investing in it for 2 years, we'll say, if you've maxed it out and put the $6,000 in there. But you have $13,000 total, so you've seen $1,000 in return. Then you can pull that $12,000 out, and there's no penalty. If you just can't pull out the $1,000 that you've made in profit. But keep in mind, say you take the money out, and then you realize you don't need it, you miscalculated, whatever. You can't just put that $12,000 back in. You can only put in the $6,000 annually. That rule still applies. This is why I like these accounts, because you can always just take the money out whenever you need it. It's not like a 401k where, say, you put 50% in and you realize, I need that money. You can't just take it out without a big penalty. Now, how do you set up a Roth IRA? This is a pretty easy process and can be done in about 15 to 20 minutes. The most common brokerages, I believe, are Vanguard and Fidelity. I personally use Vanguard for a number of different reasons, but at the end of the day, you can look into all these different brokerages and go with the one that you decide you like the best. But also keep in mind that when you put money into a Roth IRA, that's not the investment itself. It is, but it's not. You still need to pick the funds that you're going to buy within that Roth IRA. For someone that's a beginner or that doesn't know a ton about stocks, I wouldn't recommend picking individual stocks. I would just recommend picking index funds or some sort of ETF that follows the S&P 500. Doing this when you're younger is really good for a lot of different reasons. First, as I said before, it's going to allow you to take advantage of compound interest. Second, when you're younger, you're probably not making as much money as you are going to be making later in life, so you're in a lower tax bracket. This, as in addition to, you probably don't have as many responsibilities, so you can just keep putting more money into your Roth. And lastly, people are going to school longer and longer, so it's not uncommon for them to start their careers later and later in life, which means it's not uncommon to get your first employer-sponsored 401k until later and later in life. It's really not uncommon to be mid-20s, even 27 or 28, and not have an employer-sponsored 401k. So by opening up a Roth, it's going to allow you to start saving for retirement a lot sooner. You could also open up a traditional IRA, but I think that's a topic for a different video. I hope you guys got some value out of this video. This is something I wish I did when I was much younger than when I started it. But that is the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. And again, I hope you guys learned something and got some value out of it. And I'll see you guys in the next video.